Welcome to Inside Bodybuilding, presented by Projectbodybuilding.com. Get to know bodybuilding's top stars like never before. Uncut, unedited, and unfiltered for 3 solid hours. This is Project Bodybuilding at its finest. Inside Bodybuilding starts now.
And welcome everybody to a brand new episode of Inside Bodybuilding. This is episode 14. I am your host, Matt Meinrod, and with me, as always, is Taylor Normando, all the way from Canada. Guys, we have a special show. We are bringing on IFBB Pro, All American Ruffneck. He's going to tell us what the hell that means. I'm talking about Seth Feroce is with us. Seth, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. Pleasure to be here.
We're super psyched to have you on the show too, because this is the first interview you've done since you kind of fell off the face of the planet a few years ago. So we're psyched to have you with us. So kind of just go through why are you back? Why did this comeback come about?
I missed it. I missed the shit out of it. Wherever I left, I just stopped having fun. It no longer was a passion. I mean, it became a job, and I was disgusted with myself, with the industry, with where I'd become, with how things were at my home life, and I just wasn't having fun. And I'd probably say about 8 months ago, but it was probably July. In July, my daughter, who's 8 years old now, she's getting ready to do competitive gymnastics for the first time. She's been in it for about a year, and the competition season's about to start, and she's nervous and, into it, and she says, I'm like, calming her down. I'm like, Adeline, all you got to do is just focus on being the best you can be, work as hard as you possibly can, and whatever happens, happens. I said, no matter what happens, just don't give up. Just keep working. If you fall off the beam, get your ass back up on that beam and go back at it. And then she gets this bewildered look on her face, and she says, "And why did you quit?"
Ooh.
And I was like, "Whoa, you son of a bitch! Did you just call me out?" And I'm thinking this in my head. I didn't say it to her, and I'm thinking in my head, and she's like, "Is that why you stopped competing? Why'd you stop competing?" And I'm just sitting there. I'm kind of floored at the moment. I'm like speechless, and I just said, I stopped competing, so I could watch you compete, And she's like, "Oh, well, I'd love to see you back up on stage and win again. I really would." And then that's where the conversation ended. I'm like, "Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. My 8-year-old just called me out." And at that point, it really kind of set something off inside of me, because in the back of my head, I'm always, I love lifting weights. And that was always made me who I was. And I stopped lifting weights for about almost 2 years. I didn't pick up a weight from 2014 to it's been about a year and a half, 2014 to mid-2015. I didn't lift weights at all. I lost about 25, 30 pounds and became dad bod, and there's a couple pictures I got that I'll post, and people will be like, "Holy shit." And that's when it was always in the back of my head, and she said that, and I was like, "Motherfucker, I can't wait. I'm going to do it. I'm going to come back and just start lifting weights again and feeling good." And then probably about a week later, I got a phone call from Jason Ha, and he hit me up, and he's like, "Hey, man, what's up?" I was like, "Man, blast from the past, nothing, He's like, "I've been thinking a lot about you, and I was just calling you to see how everything's going with you." And I was like, "Man, it's great to hear from you." Started just talking about life and where I am, how I was running my business, and all that happy horse shit. And he, out of the blue, just says, "You ever think about coming back?" I'm like,
that's the pot calling the kettle black, don't you think?
No shit.
Yeah, well, I think he just meant into the industry, like how he's a social media mogul, and people love him, and he's a huge inspiration. And he and I were always really good friends, because we always thought on the same level. Really always shot a lot of good ideas off of each other. And he's like, Seth, he's like, you were a huge inspiration to me back in 2009. He's like, when you turned pro, man, he's like, you made it feel like I could accomplish anything I wanted to put my mind to. I was like, man, that's really special to say. And he says, I think that the industry misses you. He's like, because I miss you. He's like, because people look at me as an inspiration, and, I love being inspiring. I love talking to people. I love what I do. he's like, I think that you coming back would be a great thing. So he's like, just let it sit. He's like, I think it'd be great for you to get back in the gym, just get feeling good and see where it goes. I'm like, holy shit, man. We got off the phone, and I was just like floored again. And then it's probably about 5, 6, maybe a week later after that, I got a phone call from Dave Vollmer from Isolator Fitness. We were friends, and we talked here and there. And he asked me it's pretty much the same shit. And I'm like, how in the fuck is it possible for in less than 3 weeks' time, less than a month, I get called out by 3 people that I've called true friends in my family, and they all say similar things after not saying anything for 2-3 years. And that's whenever I was like, I'm going back into the gym and just feeling good again, because it made me feel like, these thoughts in the back of my head are something that means something. And then, so I get back in the gym, start lifting weights, feeling good again, loving life, and probably about a month or 2 into it, I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I started conjuring up all these ideas because I live in Western PA. I love shooting my guns. That's become a hobby that I just love doing because it's difficult. I like drinking beer. I like working on trucks. I like driving trucks. I like fucking off in the woods. I like hunting. I like killing shit. I love being this All American. I embrace this because we have so many great freedoms here to do whatever the fuck we want to do, and be able to do it. It's something that's like, I have such a passion for, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. So I started putting these ideas together, and then I started after a while. I was like, maybe I shouldn't do it. Maybe this is a bad idea. I'm not even fucking relevant anymore. It doesn't even fucking matter. I started letting doubt creep into my mind. I started letting everything negative creep into my mind, and I was like, nope. I said, fuck it. I said, this is something that I feel passionate about because I love this sport. It made me who I am as a person. It made me think the way I think. It made me this intense person that isn't afraid to go after something that I dream about because I accomplished something. And I started going back into my Facebook and all this stuff and all the people and all the emails that I got from people over and over. And I said, this is what I got to do. And this time around, I have something to say. Because before, I didn't know what I was doing. I let the industry mold me. And this time around, fuck that. I'm not letting it mold me because there's so much negativity and people feed off of it that this time around, I really don't give a flying fuck. I'm here because I love this shit so much that I can't control it anymore.
Talk about that. How did you let the industry mold you? Like, what does that exactly mean? Because I'm sure a lot of people are curious.
Yeah. So whenever I was in it before, I was a young kid. I loved it. I grew up in a blue collar town. I worked for my old man as a carpenter. I grew up in the working class, and I always had this inspiration to be a bodybuilder. And then once I got to the point, I saw the industry, and I was like, I wanted to be in the industry so bad. And then I started paying attention to how the people in the industry act,
right?
How they are, and I started to become that person as well. I started to become someone that I pretty much fucking hated. It wasn't what I stood for. I still had my moral value, but I'd let that doubt or let that negativity creep into my head, or the immoral thoughts or actions, and I started to do them. I started to act upon them. And that's really not who I was. So letting the industry mold me, I started looking at things as a me. I started having my hand out rather than having my hand out to help them. I started looking at things just like a lot of people in the industry do. What can you do for me? What have you done for me lately? And that's really not how the world works.
Sure. Seth, when you're getting all these signs from friends and family sort of to make a return, do you think, were you putting out vibes that you're sort of depressed and missing something and you didn't quite notice it? Or do you think it was just a coincidence, or did you notice that you were just sort of, your spark was kind of gone?
Yeah, I mean, I always I enjoy life. Like, that's the one thing I learned, that there's so much more to life than just competing. Like I said on my Instagram, it says, I'm a life enthusiast. I love everything. I have kind of, I guess, for lack of better phrases, trained myself to really enjoy everything and not pass judgment upon people for their decisions, but just accept them, because you're not really changing certain people's minds. Like, you're not changing my mind. I'm set in my ways. But I don't know. I might have. I think that whenever people looked at me online and they saw everything about me, you search my name compared to the person that I was, 8-9 months ago. I was still relatively intense with my work. I'm an operations manager of a consulting firm now, and it's like, I'm still passionate about everything that I do, but I wasn't that big, the big hairy American winning machine, that intense person that's always in the gym and very passionate and intense. I don't know. I might have. I think that I know one thing's for sure. If you compare my thought process 9 months ago to where it is today, it is different. I know it is because I feel different. I look at things in a different way than I did 9 months ago. That
first week or two back in the gym, was it instantly like, okay, this kind of hurts, but I love this, or did you have to sort of push through that, sort of get the rust off and all the crusty shit?
It was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of both. It was embarrassing at times, because I go in there and not many people recognize me. I got a beard now and just a little bit of a different look. And but I'm in there. I'm going 185 on the bench. I didn't train for a year and a half, and I'm like, holy shit, this is tough. This is tough. But after like the first, about after the first week, I'm like, man, it feels really good to be sore. And I'd wake up and I'd be like, I'm really fucking sore. My wife's like, yeah, you gonna keep doing it? I'm like, yep, I am. So it was just that feeling I got. It's like that. It really is. I mean, I still have that nervous feeling in me. I was like, man, this is going to be good. And probably about a month into it, I was in love again. My fucking the weights were just where I left them, and my love affair with them is still alive.
Awesome. Hey, talk about competition a little bit, because I remember when you were, your career, for those who don't know, it's pretty badass. I mean, you turned pro in 2009. You didn't even start competing until 2009. You won everything you did. You won your first pro show. And then you got hooked up with our boy, Hany. And everybody went...
I like that dramatic pause you left just for people to fill in their sound effects.
Who were you with before Hany, actually?
No one. Hany. I started working with Hany at the Pittsburgh show.
Okay.
After Mr. Pittsburgh, that's the first show I started working with him at.
And then you were kicking ass with Hany for a while, so you can't knock him too. It's hard to knock him, but then. I don't know if you grew out of the division, and then you basically said in a video that you almost killed yourself to suck down to that division, and you weren't going to go through that again. Talk about that whole, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, that's the big white elephant in the room right now. Everybody's wondering what happened with Hany. So in 2009, I met Hany. He worked with me like the last couple weeks of the Pittsburgh, and then we went on and did nationals and fucking just fucked shit up. We took over that. I mean, it was something that a lot of people doubted, and he and I got together, and it really, he's responsible for pretty much me becoming this phenom. And a lot of people, I did the egotistical thing and Googled myself and saw just mayhem. Seth's kidneys are dead. Hany pickled Seth's kidneys and all that. So, this time away that I stepped away, the big thing for me was I had to stop fucking lying to myself. The big thing is you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, for me to become a better person, I can't lie to myself. I can't point the finger at anybody. I can't do anything like that. So in 2009, I turned pro. 2010, I won my first pro show. Took 2011 off to get bigger. We wanted to do it the right way, rather than, just load me up full of fucking drugs and take the time to grow into the division because everybody was behind it. Because, I did end up in the hospital after nationals. That's something that I never talked about, never brought it up.
What were you in there for exactly?
The day after nationals, I really didn't understand how diuretics work, given the fact that, I was a young amateur, did 3 fucking shows. So I took a half a diazide before prejudging, and then I took a full diazide before the night show. And fuck, that's nothing.
Right.
Compared to what the industry average is. So the little thing that a lot of people don't know is diazide works on water and fucking sodium. And those are 2 things that we drag out of our bodies right before a show. So after the show's over, what do we fill our bodies back up with? Water and sodium. So that night after prejudging, the prejudging didn't end or the night show didn't end till midnight or something. My that diazide kicked in full effect because I didn't really piss much after I took that full diazide before the night show, and started just fucking peeing like crazy. And I mean, I started drying out even more that night. So I go to the photo shoot for MD the next morning, and it was probably 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I'm eating a piece of food, and all of a sudden, I just fucking dropped. My wife's there with me. It was Robbie Duran from MD. He was there with MD at the time. Herb Burnell, Al Augusti, everybody's there, and all of a sudden, dude, I just drop. I start fucking sweating. I start peeing. I start pooping. My body is just completely shutting the fuck down.
Chipotle.
I'm in the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom at the fucking photo shoot, butt-ass naked, a complete and utter mess. It was bad. And so, I mean, after that, they put my clothes on me, and I'm pretty much passed out at this time, put my clothes on me and take me to the fucking hospital. And then they right whenever they're about to throw a catheter in me, all of a sudden I start coming to.
Of course.
You know, the whole time they're shoving fluid in my mouth and getting me to just drink, and I'm a mess, you know. And then right whenever they throw the catheter in me, I start going, whoa, whoa, whoa. and then sure enough, that whole time it happened so fast, and everybody was just kind of like in awe. And once they hooked me up to IVs and all that happy horse shit, I got better instantly. And the little thing is that I didn't know about this. So that's the fucking risk you take. That's fucking with drugs right there. And after that, I got out of the hospital. You know, about 8 hours later, got to the hospital and felt good. Got back into it, and then 2 weeks later, I went and did a photo shoot for MD back in LA. And never spoke to the story. Never mentioned it to anybody. Never said nothing.
Wow.
Just kept it under wraps. I mean, that's the first time. This is the first time I've actually told it in a public forum because, you know, 6 years ago, you just didn't talk about this shit. You know?
Right.
So that was in 09. So that was the first thing that happened, and pretty much my body was shutting the fuck down. It was giving up because let's face it, in our sport, if you want to make it in any professional sport, if you want to make it, you aren't going to follow the rules. You aren't going to just go, oh, yeah, I'm going to make it because I'm just going to work hard. You're going to work really hard, but you're also going to be faced with challenges and decisions that you have to make to go to the next level. Mm-hmm. And how you go about those things is what is going to dictate your success. And that's why there's a lot of people that are successful out there, and that's why some people just don't make it. You know, and then they have to just make the decision, what do I want to do? And then the big thing for me was I wasn't educated enough. I didn't know, you know, so that's a big thing. So after that, I went to, I got all cleaned up, got my blood work back, went to the doctors, you know, got all squared away. Yep, everything's good to go. Fuck it, let's do it. I'm ready again. This is a sport league that is just fueled by passion, man. So I went and did the 2010 Dallas Europa. That was tough making weight for that one. You know, Hany and I struggled with it. You know, he knows how it all works. So we got to do that one. And this time around, after the show was over, he kept a much closer eye on me and made sure nothing bad happened. You know, we were down in Dallas, Texas for it, so the photo shoots were just fucking ungodly. And I remember being at a photo shoot with Cedric. He was there with it, and I'm just dying. They're trying to get this cover shot, and then I'm like, just beating myself up, and Cedric's like, hey, calm down. Let the white boy catch his breath and get some fluids in him. You know, he stepped in and told everybody to settle down, you know, pulled me out of it. So he that was really good for me on his part there. But, you know, after that, you know, I got a little bit better grip. So then it all went good, and we decided, you know, it's too hard to make 202 because it was a 202 class at that point.
Right.
So 2011, I took off that, tried to grow, and it was still the 202 class, but then in 2012, they made it the 212 class. Well, at that time, I just took a full year off to go to the open class. So I was going to do the Toronto Pro, the open class at the Toronto Pro. And that's what we ended up going to do. But this time around, Hany and I didn't stay in such close communication. It was a little bit different of a prep. We're going about things a little bit differently, and it's not on his part. It's mostly on my part.
How so?
Just not staying in close enough communication with him. I'd say, he'd be like, hey, Seth, we need to do this, and I would kind of be a little more lax about it than I was before. And looking back on it now, it's because I was falling into the category of just like everyone else in the industry. I mean, before I looked at it in a much different sense, and I don't know if it was because I thought I was getting too big for my britches, or if it was because I thought that I could do things a little bit better on my own. But I started to learn things. But I think looking back, it's like once you get a little bit of information, you think that you can do things on your own, or you might be able to put a better spin on things. And I didn't. So, what I looked pretty good for the Toronto show. So we're laying there up against the wall, getting ready to go out on stage, and Guy, Sister Nina said to me, "You look pretty good, bro." And I'm like, "I feel pretty good, man. I think this is going to go well." So after that, we go and we're getting ready to go on stage. We go get our oil, go get ready to go put our oil on, get all pumped up and all that. I go get my oil put on by Giantana. Kevin, he's always done my stuff before, and they put it on, and then all of a sudden my skin started to feel a little funky. I'm like, man, what the fuck? I said, Kevin, what the fuck did you put on me? He says, oh, this is our new formula for oil. And I'm like, I have fucking sensitive skin. Like, I have to buy special deodorant and special shampoos for my skin. And I'm like, I think I'm having a fucking reaction. And I'm like, fuck it, it's too late now. I go on stage in 6 fucking minutes. So we dang line up, and John De La Rosa turns around and looks at me toe to head, and then just turns around and didn't say nothing. I'm like, motherfucker. And sure enough, I go out on stage, and I was a little watery. Now, am I using that as an excuse? Fuck no, it's not. It's nobody's fault but my own. You know what I mean? It's my fault. I should have had my own fucking oil. And to be honest, I wasn't in the same type of shape that I was for Dallas or Nationals, because I was going for a different look.
You're much bigger and fuller at that show, though, right? You feel that was your biggest?
Much bigger. I mean, I was 221 pounds on stage, so it was a different look.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people were expecting the old Seth Feroce, and Hany was always a proponent of saying, Seth, we need to be in such good shape so that if anything goes wrong, we will still have phenomenal fucking conditioning. And that was where I dropped the ball, because we were going for a different look. Because I said, I want to go in with a little bit bigger and fuller of a look and do this and that. And that's where, we didn't have that room for error this time around.
Whose decision was that? That seems like it's you were breaking a good formula. Why would you want to change it at that point in your career? I mean,
because like I said, I wanted to do something different. I rather than sticking to what works, my mind started to grow, and I started to want to take on my own ideas. And that's, again, I mean, that's where I fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm fully understanding of that, because I look back at it now, and I look back and I'm like, yeah, that's what wrong. That was it.
It's so funny because I think a lot of people are, and myself included, are under the impression that like Hany did you wrong, and it doesn't really seem like that, huh?
No. And then what happened next is what's going to fucking floor you even more.
Here we go.
So after that, I was very disappointed with it, because a lot of people started talking a lot of shit. Everybody loves you when you win, but whenever you lose or don't do too good, people kind of back away.
Right.
Or people want to kind of take over your situation and tell you what the fuck to do. And I don't really do good with authoritative figures. I don't think many of us do in our industry. That's why we are, who we are in the sport that we love, which is a lot of self-dedication and selfishness. The post interview with MD, I felt like Hany, kind of like attacked me in a sense. But it really, looking back at the interview now, like at that time, because I was so vulnerable because I lost, and because I never had this feeling before with bodybuilding, I felt like I was being attacked by everyone. Sean Ray, Hany, everybody that was there, they were saying these things, and people were like, man, that was a rough interview. And I'm like, I fucking felt like it was. Motherfuckers. Looking back at it now, no, he was trying to use that to say, Seth, get your fucking shit together and do the right fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I looked at it differently then because I was so vulnerable and kind of mind-fucked at the time. And then that's really what fueled these next couple things that happened. So after that, I cut complete ties with Hany. I stopped talking to him. I said, I'm not going to deal with this shit. I said, everybody loves me when I'm winning, but when I fucking lose, all of a sudden everybody starts saying shit and fucking wanting to tell me what to do. I started getting that mentality just like the rest of the people in the industry have. And that's why people jump from coach to coach and thing to thing, because they get mad and they don't do well with authoritative figures. And I was becoming part of that rather than just accepting things for what they were and moving the fuck on and going to do things the right way. So I just cut ties. I talked to him like one more time, and then I was like, nope, I'm going to do my own fucking thing. I'm going to go do Sarasota. I'm going to do the 212 Sarasota show, and I'm going to fucking run shit. I'm going to go do it and just kill it. And I was dead set on it. So Hany tried reaching out to me a couple times. His wife, Fairnez, even tried reaching out to me, sent me a Facebook message, sent my wife a Facebook message, and I said, don't even fucking deal with it. And that's the one thing that like I look at now, and I mean, it still eats me up inside. Those things in life, breaking that girl's heart, hurting someone's feeling that really loves you, or shaking someone's hand on something and having an agreement and then breaking that bond, all those things hurt way more than you being fucked over. You know how like that girl that broke your heart, you're like, oh man, that fucking bitch. But whenever you hurt somebody, you personally hurt somebody, or you shake their hand and told them you were going to do something and then you didn't do it, that's the shit that keeps me up at night. And that's the shit that I look back at now and say, I'm never fucking doing that again in my life. Because that is not who I am, and that's not how I act. That's not how I was fucking raised, and that's never going to happen again. And that's really what this whole comeback is, and what this All American Ruffneck thing is.
How do we get you and Hany back together? Can we call him up right now, Taylor, and get him on the phone?
Yeah, I talk to him every day.
I called him here probably about 3 weeks ago just to bullshit with him, and he's like, holy shit, and so we were talking there, and he's like, so what are you doing now? Like, nothing, just hanging out, working. He's like, what are you doing now? Nothing, just hanging out, working. He's like, why are you calling me? I was like, because I'm thinking about you a lot. I miss you.
Sexually.
So we just bullshitted for a while about all the success he's been having with everything he does. He's always been such a hardworking bad motherfucker that the dude doesn't stop and that doesn't sleep. Talking about how he has a kid now and how Fairnez is and everything they're doing. So it was really good. But at the end of the conversation, he says, why don't you send me some pictures? No, I'm good. You should send me some pictures the next time you're at the gym. Oh, I'm not really lifting much. Oh, yeah? You should send me some pictures.
If I can cut you off, in a vacuum, that sounds very schmoey, just, hey.
Oh, yeah. He knew what the fuck was going on. I didn't give him anything. I wasn't giving him nothing.
You start sending those pics, then all of a sudden he wants to see, pictures of your cock and everything. And
that's all. Everybody that's somebody in the industry has had those emails sent to them before.
No shit. Hey, Seth, I'm just curious, he didn't even work with you in the last show. There's all this rumors, you mentioned you've seen it. The Hany, fucked you up, melted your kidneys, liquefied your insides, made you shit out your spleen, whatever. Where did that come from? Was there anything that was derived from? Yep,
that was derived from Sarasota. So, like I said, I went in and I was going to prove the point. So
you weren't working with him then, apparently. So is what
no. So I wasn't. I did not work with Hany for Sarasota. And so I go and I'm prepping. I got back on the dosages that we used for nationals, which was a great baseline to work from. Not a lot, but I started adding more things to it because I had my own concoction ideas, and I was fucking looking retarded probably about 3-4 weeks out. I mean, just stupid. I was just killing everything, it was so, my mind was dead set on something. And about 3-4 weeks out, I mean, I had veins in my ass cheeks. I was cardio through the roof. I was like 214 pounds, just looking crazy. I was 209 pounds 2 weeks out. And I'm like, man, I am hard as a rock. All of a sudden, I started not getting as hard as I thought. I started kind of fading. I'm like, I'm just going to take a day off. I'll take a day off, get a small cheat meal in me, get my calories up, and I'll be good. I still got 15 days.
Hey guys, it's Matt Meinrod from All Bull Radio on Projectbodybuilding.com. I want to encourage you guys to check out a huge supporter of Projectbodybuilding.com. I'm talking about Mutant. Visit their website at IamMutant.com. It's IamMutant.com. If you like Ron Partlow, if you like Canada, if you like poutine, if you like t-shirts and supplements and badass videos, check out IamMutant.com. Do it today. They support Project Bodybuilding. They make podcasts available to all of you and make the site tick. It's IamMutant.com. Support them. You're supporting us. IamMutant.com.
Blackstone Labs is bodybuilding's leading source for hardcore legal supplements and the makers of Angel Dust, Ostapure, Cobra 6 Extreme, Apex Male, and over a dozen other products with cutting-edge ingredients that outlast and outshine the competition every time. Formerly the maker of the industry standard in pro hormones, Blackstone Labs has not fallen. In fact, after the dust has settled on gray area supplementation, Blackstone shines brighter and stronger than ever before. Visit blackstonelabs.com or click on the banners throughout Project Bodybuilding and experience bodybuilding science at its finest. That's blackstonelabs.com, the hardcore holy grail of bodybuilding supplements. Which one of these are you? The gullible, uninformed gym goer who gets hypnotized by $12,000 supplement ads with flashy made-up scientific terms created by a sales and marketing team? Or are you a knowledgeable, advanced athlete, bodybuilder, powerlifter, or fitness woman who knows the real deal? Well, let me tell you about fitness and bodybuilding's dirty little secret, TrueNutrition.com. The people who know what's really going on skip the retail sales team and go right to the manufacturer at TrueNutrition.com. TrueNutrition.com cuts out the middleman and is not only a source, but is also the manufacturer of raw ingredients for bodybuilding and fitness. At TrueNutrition.com, you can customize your own proteins, carbs, and fats. Put what you want in the supplements and make sure the other guys aren't putting bunk ingredients and fillers in your products just to make a fast. You can even customize your own oatmeals. You can use the do-it-yourself customizer to design your own supplements the way you want them designed. Stop being a newbie and start making your own supplements. You can at TrueNutrition.com. For an extra 5 to 10% off your orders, use the code PROJECTBB in the discount code box at checkout. That's PROJECTBB and get 5 to 10% off at TrueNutrition.com. Evolution Peptides is Project Bodybuilding's first and most loyal peptide and research source. Use their new discount code PRO40 to save 40% off every order you make at checkout. Viagra, Cialis, anti-estrogens, CJC 1295 with DAC, Melanotan 2, GHRP6, IGF-1, and several more for all of your researching needs. Visit evolutionpeptides.com and use the code PRO40 to redeem your 40% discount. One more time, that's evolutionpeptides.com.
Hey, if you guys are in the market for some new weightlifting straps, belts, knee sleeves, chalk, anything you can throw in your gym bag, basically, I want you guys to check out www.ProWristStraps.com. ProWristStraps.com, or better known as APT Pro Lifting Gear, is your one-stop shop for everything lifting gear and accessories. I mean, they literally have it all. They even sell trophies. So if you ever entered a bodybuilding or a powerlifting or a strongman competition and you placed 6th, well, they sell first place trophies. That's how comprehensive this site is. You too can be a winner. Go to www.ProWristStraps.com, use code PBB at checkout, get 10% off your order, and I recommend it fully. It's www.ProWristStraps.com. Great website, easy to navigate. They have everything you can throw in your gym bag. Project Bodybuilding fans, please welcome latest sponsor of this site, Rise from the Fall. Visit them at risefromthefall.com. Who are they? Well, they sell the hottest fitness apparel out today. We're talking about tanks, t-shirts, hats, hoodies, pants, you name it. Sizes are in men's and women's, large and small. You won't find lame slogans on their clothes. We're not talking about killing or murdering or being hardcore. I just can't stand that stuff, and I don't want to see anybody wearing it, so we're not going to have that on the site. We don't put up with that at Projectbodybuilding.com, and neither should you. But what I do like about their clothes, they're all hand-pressed, they're all made locally in the USA, and the best of all, wait for it, their owners, Jillian and Brandon, are from the state of Delaware, just like Deli Meat Day. More reason to buy from risefromthefall.com. Use discount code RISEFROM15 at checkout for an extra 15% off. It's RISEFROM15. Once again, it's www.risefromthefall.com. It's not just an apparel company. It's one that we love. It's a Project Bodybuilding chance for you guys to look good in the gym and do it in style. Don't be douchey. RiseFromTheFall.com.
Yes. Something's wrong. Fuck it. I need more hallout testing. I'm going to need another hallout testing. Up it. I'm going to do my shit.
Yeah.
Well, then the hallout testing doesn't make me any harder. And then I'm like, I'll just, I got to do more cardio. I just got to just start pushing my water. Well, that didn't fucking work either. All of a sudden, I was nowhere near as hard as I was 3-4 weeks out. Like 20, 25, 26 days out. And I'm like, screw it. Once I drop my water, drop my sodium, drop my diazide, I will be on fucking point. So we fly down to Sarasota. Go down there, me and my old man go, and drop my water, drop my diazide, and something's not working. Something is very wrong. Oh, shit. It just fell apart. Everything fell apart. The whole thing. I mean, you look at the fucking pictures, you're like, what in the flying fuck is that? And the screwed up part is, I was really, really soft in only certain parts of my body. Like, it was just like, it all started in certain parts. It wasn't like my full body in the beginning. It was just soft in certain areas, like soft in my stomach. But I still have striations in my chest, and then part of my chest would not be striated. And I'm like, man, what in the fuck is going on? And I really didn't feel too bad. Your kidneys hurt a little bit getting ready for a show, like dropping your water and your sodium, but nothing threw up any red flags but the way I looked. And I was doing everything that I thought was how we did it before. I have a fucking notebook full of everything. And turns out my body shut down. It just stopped working. Don Long came up to me after pre-judging and he says, you need to go fix yourself right now. I was like, what's up, man? Something's wrong. And he says, you might be having a little bit of kidney failure here. Your shit might be shutting down on you because of how soft I looked. And I was like, something's wrong. He said, yeah, you should go probably take some sodium and some fluids in right now. So I go do that. Jason Hall was there, and he's like, yeah, you need to have some sodium. You need to drink some fluids. You need to get some carbohydrates in you right now. So we did that. I still stayed on stage. Why I stayed on stage, I have no idea. Should have just walked away from it there, but I didn't want to use it as an excuse or a crutch. So went and did it, and then after the show's over, went and got all squared away. Jason helped me. He's like, this is what you need to eat. This is what you need to do. He's like, just stay calm. Don't freak yourself out. If anything starts happening, just go to the fucking hospital. So nothing happened other than I went and ate, drank a bunch of Pedialyte and fluids, a bunch of water. And then all of a sudden I started peeing. Everything started going good. And I started coming back to life. Flew home. Same thing. Jason put me on a protocol full of vitamins, minerals, fluid intake, so watching my sodium intake, making sure I was doing everything right. And all of a sudden, about 2 weeks later, my body came back to life and looked fucking great because I was on such a strict diet. So it was just no weights, was doing a lot of cardio. And went after that, Jason was just like, Seth, you need to go get your blood work done. You need to take time off, and you need to get yourself under fucking control. He's like, because I told him everything that I did for the show and how I ran it. And he's like, you just need to stop for a while. You abused your body in every sense of the word. He's like, If it was overtraining, you did it. If it was over dieting, you did it. If it was over drug using, you did it. You did everything to the extreme. And he's like, this is how people fall into the fucking rut of ruining themselves. I was like, okay, good point. Very good point. So I, at that point, I was like, man, it's over. I'm done. I don't fucking want to do this anymore. It just ruined me inside my head. And that was pretty much where it went. And after that, I told people, I was having health troubles. Everybody saw it, and it was a fucking mess. So they automatically associated me with Hany with that. And at the time, I was so mind-fucked with everything because all while this is going on, all this that's in the spotlight that everybody sees online and sees everywhere, my home life is an absolute wreck because I have been completely consumed by this. Completely consumed by it. Owned by it. And my wife and everybody that loves me, that is in my inner circle, that looks at me as their rock, as their husband, as their father, as a person that they're supposed to rely on, I am not reliable. I am selfish. I am completely consumed and absorbed by this. And I was just like, fuck me. I have become someone that I am not supposed to be. And that's why I just said, I'm done. Fuck it. Not worth it. I can go make this kind of money in anything if I put the same effort towards it. And at that point, that's whenever really I just decided that it's no longer for me. No longer for me.
In retrospect, were you really worried about your wife ever leaving you, or did it get to that point?
Yeah. It was a mess. It was because my wife and I both were so young. We had a kid in college. We went and moved. We moved away from home immediately because I got a job in Cincinnati. We're from Pittsburgh. We left immediately, had a 6-month-old in Cleveland. We're 21 and 22 years old. But holy fuck, dude. That in itself is not a good concoction. Mm-hmm. And then you add bodybuilding into it, and then you add pro bodybuilding into it, and you add every little aspect that you could imagine into it from pro bodybuilding, and it's not a good mix. Mm-hmm. So the whole time, us being young, not naive, but I would say very vulnerable to things, and in the how do we say, like the nastiness of the industry, we were just, it completely consumed us. Of course, my wife and I we were at each other's fucking throats. And after this, the decision for me to stop bodybuilding was our decision. It wasn't just mine. I said, I told her, we have been going through life and at each other's throats, and it's not worth it because we have a kid. We have something that we both love. We're both great people, but lately we have not been the people that we're supposed to be. So we decided to say, fuck it. We're going to start over. We're going to leave the things that happened in the past in the past. Everything that we're going to do from now on is going to be for each other, and that's how we have to become better people. Because I don't want to go through life walking through life. I want to go through life living life. I want to go through life. I want to give my wife the dream house that we both talk about. I want to give my wife a vacation that we can say that we're going on a vacation together and it's her vacation because that's what she's always wanted. Rather than say, well, we're going to go here because I said we're going to go here. Or we're going to go here because I have an event to go do. No, I want to make sure that we go through life doing the things we should be doing for each other and that we both enjoy because we both have common goals. We both have common interests. But the whole time we hated each other so much that those things got lost. And that's really where we've come. We've come so far because we both agreed, we're no longer walking through life. And being blue collar workers that have, managerial positions for the companies that we work for, we have very demanding lives. We have very stressful lives, but at the same time, I can't just walk through it because it's not fun. If we want to go out to eat, or we want to go get a nice bottle of whiskey or a nice bottle of champagne and hang out on the back porch and enjoy ourselves, that's what we get to do now. We have 2 young children now. It's like, I want to live it rather than just walk through it and be disgusted. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way I do, in the same way we do, because we're your neighbor. We still live in the same small house we bought 7 years ago. We're saving up for that dream farmhouse that we want to build. And that's really where, again, this whole thing starts coming full circle. The whole reason that that I want to come back now is because I got a message, and I think, like I said, I love this shit too much to stay away.
Are you scared? Are you scared though that you're not going to fall right back in that trap? Maybe not immediately because you're still in this like honeymoon phase of the comeback, but maybe like a year from now, and you get your like seriously, you could go right down the same path and make it maybe as bad or worse.
Oh, absolutely. That's the thing that's the part of me that is like, am I still relevant? Should I still do this? What should I do? And my wife even said whenever I started like getting back into this, she's like, boy, you're fucking back into it. I said, yeah. And she's like, you start thinking differently. You start becoming a different person in a good sense.
Right.
And it's, she was even hesitant. She's like, what are you going to do whenever this happens? What are you going to do? How are you going to handle this situation? Don't think that anything that people say on the forums, any negative things that people are going to say, don't think that I haven't already tried to convince myself not to do this. Or anything that's negative, I've already said the worst possible things because I fucked up. I mean, you have to take responsibility for your fuck-ups in life to become a better person. And I am going to be faced with the same decisions that I had to make back then. And what dictates my character and who I am as a man and how my children will look at me for the rest of my life, those decisions I'm going to have to make again. And that's why, I full-heartedly and full-knowingly will make the correct decision. Because I'm a different person. I've accepted all my screw-ups, and I am a better person for it. I'm not going to say I'm never going to make a mistake again, but at the same time, whenever I'm faced with a decision, don't think I'm not going to make an educated decision on the right one to make, because I know that the decisions that I made before were not the right ones because it took my life in a spiral that I did not like.
Seth, I don't want to harp on the sort of the downfall before we we can move on to the future. But did you ever have motivation to come in and clear the air about Hany, or did you know that he was taking so much fire for it? Did you feel guilt about that? Were you conscious at all, or were you kind of just so removed from it that you didn't really realize that that was kind of the narrative that everyone has been talking about for years?
No, I knew. I reached out to him. I reached out to him via. I sent him a letter and a Christmas gift the one year. I told him, I apologize for everything, and I said, you were a huge reason, and you're a huge influence on my life and the things the way I am. Like, I mean, I love smoking cigar, drinking whiskey and scotch. Like I really enjoy it. That's one of those things that it's like on a Saturday night once the kids go down. Yes. That's something that I really enjoy, and he's the one that introduced me to it. And the little things in my life that constantly bring him up is what made such an impact. And one of the reasons, I felt a ton of guilt. I mean, it was terrible. But the one thing with Hany is he's one of those guys that doesn't really give a fuck. And I knew he was going to be just fine because what I did was not the worst thing that's ever happened to him in his life. And he's going to be fine because he can fend for himself just fine. He's a bad motherfucker. I mean, the proof's in the pudding for what that guy does. I mean, his supplement company's doing outstanding. He works with the best guys in every single fucking industry. You know what I mean? I mean, for God's sake, the guy's training the fucking Rock now. Like, Mr. Olympias aren't enough. So,
yeah.
The guy is a certified badass in our industry and deserves respect. So fucking little old Seth really wasn't putting a dent in his, but I know I hurt his feelings and I hurt and I definitely fucked up the way he thinks about me, and that's something that I will always try to do my best to rebuild because he has had a huge influence on me in my life. And you look back at things and I can't change the past. I can only change how people view me in the future and how I treat them. And it's one of those things that if it takes fucking years to rebuild the relationship or years to rebuild the camaraderie or the respect or the honest between each of us, then that's something I'm willing to do because, he's a solid motherfucker.
Are you gonna with this comeback? We're gonna talk about what your plans are later on in the show, but have you thought about who you want to work with as far as a coach in the immediate future? No. I really like right now. I mean,
Jason Ha has really, he took me under my wing and helped me through my getting better after 2012, end of 2012 and 13, and really changed my perspective on everything: drugs, food, training, nutrition, off time, detoxing. I mean, he's one hell of a guy. He knows his fucking shit inside and out. And it's really changed how I look at nutrition, how I look at how my body functions. Anybody that follows that dude on Instagram will see how he operates and what he does, and it's pretty much like, holy shit! It's just he really looks at things from a healthy perspective, but also this is still bodybuilding. Everybody,
is he done? By the way, like is he done competing?
I think he is. I don't think it's really on his radar because I know he's doing really well with his company.
Uh-huh.
I know that he's one of them guys. Dude just loves life. If you get around him and have time to shoot the shit with him and spend a day with him, it's one of those things that you're just like, man, I feel like a better person. I feel like I have just been, I have more insight on how life is. On my Instagram, there's a lot of things and a lot of quotes you'll see from him how he told me and how he told me to look at life and the different perspective and how to kind of just accept things for what they are. And that's really, he was a huge proponent on how I started to look at life differently back in 13, 14, and really where I developed my own concepts and how I've gotten to where I am now.
Right.
He was a huge inspiration to me.
Is it safe to say that the sort of this current approach, like, I mean, it looks like you're approaching this sort of from a media standpoint. You have an image already built that you were ready to unleash. Was that all sort of inspired from Jason? Because he sort of mastered that.
In a sense, I guess. That was something. It was weird because back in 13, these were things that we talked about together. We brainstormed together. We'd talk for hours on the phone about things, and we took different paths. He stayed the course on bodybuilding and competing, and I came back to, well, quote unquote, cliche, my roots. Came back to the blue collar workforce and went back to work, started my own company, went back to, working hard fucking labor, building block walls, digging drains, excavations, you name it, I was doing it all. I had a big truck, trailer, equipment. I was doing it all, and that's really where I started to find myself again because I fucking love it. I love building a block wall. I love looking at it. I love looking after. I just built a 500 block retaining wall and say, I laid every single one of them fucking blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Some block are 80 pounds a piece. I put every single one of them motherfuckers in place. I built that like that. That's the phrase that we used to use at work. And it was a sense of pride. And I was like, and it was something that I was like, man, I forgot how much I love this. And at that same time, that's that manly side of all of us. I'd come home from work, my fucking hands are bleeding from carrying block all day. And my wife would be there. She'd say, what do you want for dinner there, hot stuff? And I'm like, man, this is fucking great. I like this really great. And at the same time, I'd come home, she'd cook dinner, and I'm just got done my trailer. I still got to go pull everything off my trailer at the house. I get to go grab a fresh beer. I have a cigar. Fucking dinner's made, and I'm like, this is the life, man. I'm like, I'm living the dream.
The pussy never felt so good, did it?
It never fucking felt that good, And that's kind of like this whole, that's this whole part where I'm like, this is what, and these feelings that I had, and I still have about this, I'm like I said, I'm an operations manager for a consulting firm. It was too good of a deal to pass up. But that's another story. But at the same time, I still work at my own house. I built my fence. I'm building a porch in the spring on the house. My wife, we're saving up for our dream farmhouse, which, it's going to take a little bit longer.
Sure.
But at the same time, like, I want to do those things because it's that manly feeling that I really enjoy. And it's, in my neck of the woods here in Western PA, West Virginia area, that type of shit, that's how we are around here. We do things here on a fucking handshake. If I shake your hand and say, would it be there at 7 a.m. to help you rip the roof off of your house so we can put a new one on, you'll see me there at 7 o'clock. That's just how it is around here. And that's part of like the whole, quote unquote, the roots. Get back to your roots, my roots around here, because that's how people operate. We shake each other's hands and say, yep, I'll be there, brother. I got you.
So how the hell did you get hooked up with Prime Nutrition? That seems like They are sports cars and big houses and palm trees, and they're great guys. We love Aaron and PJ, but they don't really and they're hard workers, obviously, because they've built nothing to this huge company that you are now a part of. How did you guys get hooked up together? I mean, it's kind of a yin and yang. Your story doesn't match almost.
They want to buy, like, their house my house is probably the size of their bathroom. And then they'll buy a $100,000 sports car, and I buy an $80,000 truck and a $20,000 50 cal. You know,
exactly.
Here's how this went. In 2013, when I was on my way out, I was still with Muscle Tech. Muscle Tech always treated me great, by the way. So I'm walking through the Olympia in 2013, and I see PJ and Aaron are walking by. And then we were in the lobby. I'm like, hey, you know, we always, with them guys, whenever I saw them, it was always like a genuine conversation. Like, we always had, like, common goals. Like, Aaron with his family and PJ with competing. Like, whenever I came up, they were always, you know, very respectful. We always had, like, real conversations. It wasn't like a handshake and a chest bump where we were like, what's up, bro? It was always actual conversations with them. So we stopped and talked, and I was like, dude, I said, I saw your guys' new shit, man. That's fucking awesome. And these guys were just ecstatic. Like, they were so pumped up about Blackstone. And I was like, dude, if there's anything I could do, I'd love to help you guys. And they're like, well, if anything ever happens with Muscle Tech, if you're not with them, give us a call. We'd love to do something with you. I'm like, yeah, man. I said, dude, you guys, if I wish I could help you somehow, because they were over the moon. And I'm like, these two guys were looked at as like the redheaded stepchildren of the fucking industry. They were like the outcasts, you know. No one really took them serious, and I could see that these dudes were onto something. They were very passionate. They were over the moon. I'm like, man, good luck, dude. I hope you guys fucking kill it. So that was in the end of 2013, and then come around this time, whenever I was starting to get back into training here, it was probably in August, September, and I was like, if I come back, I'm going to call these motherfuckers. I said, they're going to get the first phone call, because we always had a good relationship, and they actually look like they got some really good shit now. So I started taking their products. I started ordering Blackstone and Prime Nutrition products. Started giving it a try. I said, if I'm going to call these guys and want to work with them, I want to make sure that their shit's good. I want to make sure that this is something that I market, because everything that I'm saying right now is the truth. There's no more hiding. You know, the industry has changed so much from when I was into it. So I started spending my own money on all the products and seeing what they could do, and I liked them. You know, they're something that, you know, they're a supplement. They supplement your workouts. They supplement your daily life so that you can become better. And I was like, okay. So I started taking them, the best, the hype. The Formula 19, that was a big one I like. So after doing all this, and then everything started to come into head, I was like, okay, I'm keeping this. I've been able to keep this shit quiet for 7 fucking months. I said, I'm going to call these guys in January, first or second of the month, like January 2nd. I'm going to call them and be like, hey guys, I'm coming back, and I wanted to work something out with you guys, yada yada yada. And I'm going to call them. So I did. And then it was kind of like, whoa, man, where have you been? Started shooting the shit, started talking about the ideas with them, and they were like, wow, dude, this is great. They watched the video, they watched the full-length video, watched it all, and they're like, Seth, this is pretty special, man. This is great. And we talked about ideas and how we could do things, and they really didn't know how to fit me in, you know, because they were different, but, you know, at the same time, we all have, you know, we have the same moral ethics, moral values. And then that's whenever they were like, we want you to become the new face of Prime Nutrition. We want to change Prime, and we want to give it an edge, and we want you to do it. I'm floored. I'm like, holy fuck, fellas. Like, yeah, man, I want to do it. So it was something that it was a collaborative agreement after that. That was probably like January 5th or 6th. We had that conversation. I'm like, oh, shit, this is great, you know. And we really started bouncing off some ideas about how we're going to move forward and what we're going to do, and, you know, yada, yada, yada. And then it all came to head. And crazy part is everything still stayed on the on the down low.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody really knew about it until yesterday.
No bullshit. I was talking to Aaron over the weekend, and he goes, "Matt, you want to hear some good industry gossip?" And I said, "Well, of course." And he goes, we just signed Seth Feroce," and I'm like, "No, you fucking didn't." And he's like, "Yeah, we did." And then he shows me your video, and he goes, and he's funny because like he and I get along really well because I don't spill the beans. Like if he's got something to tell me, he'll either say, "You can tell people," or "You can't." And he knows that, I'll keep my word to it. And he goes, "Now we're going to announce it this week, so you can't tell anybody." So I managed to keep it under wraps for 4 days. So,
well, you kind of told me.
Well, I had to tell you, Taylor. So hold on.
Yeah,
Before you talk more about Prime and everything, why are they going in a new direction? I mean, because obviously they were the face of the brand before was Evan, and he's kind of a milk drinker, and you're a whiskey drinker. So is that like they're trying to harden it up and make it more like Blackstone, where it's a little edgier? Because everybody that listens to the show knows everything about Prime and Blackstone as far as the differences. One's the hardcore line, one's kind of like your everyday line. Are you going to kind of cross the line? Is the story to make Prime feel a little bit more like Blackstone? Is that the deal, or what?
I think that's the concept. We haven't really ironed out, finalized details, but that's the direction that we're heading in. They whenever they told me all this, I was like, great. And they were like, we've never really been happy with Prime because it's not a reflection of them. Like them two dudes, I look at them like, the All American Ruffneck. They got the Ruffneck in them too, because it's that side of them that doesn't fucking give up. No matter what it is, they're going to lay it on the line. They threw their balls on the chopping block and didn't get them chopped off. So there's some bad dudes, man. They worked hard for what they got, and they were like, this has never been been a reflection of us. Blackstone Labs is, because it's like they were just two guys who wanted to make great things. And then with Prime, they went a different direction because they had the yin and the yang. That's my phrase, not theirs. But being Blackstone and Prime, and then they were just like, we've never been really happy about it. I'm like, all right, well, whatever we got to do, man, I'm doing it. And they're like, we want to ride this with you because you have the edge that we want. So I think that the great thing about where there's all going on is everybody's going to see it. Everybody's going to see it come to head. Everybody's going to see this whole entire thing come alive, right along with us as we do it. So, me, I have my video team. That did the All American Ruffneck video, which is a fucking crazy production. And we got some things that we're going to be doing here in February for some Prime Nutrition, from some Prime Nutrition videos, which I think they're going to be pretty badass as well. So that's something that they've given me. They're like, Seth, whenever you have an idea, let us know. We really want to shoot ideas off of each other because not everybody in the industry does that. I mean, I've invested a shitload of money in everything that we just did, and I'm ready to invest more. I want to invest more into this because I love it, man.
Let Aaron and PJ pay for it now. Let them pay for it now.
Hey guys, it's Matt Meinrod from All Bull Radio and Projectbodybuilding.com. I want to encourage you guys to check out a huge supporter of Projectbodybuilding.com. I'm talking about Mutant. Visit their website at IamMutant.com. It's IamMutant.com. If you like Ron Partlow, if you like Canada, if you like poutine, if you like t-shirts and supplements and badass videos, check out IamMutant.com. Do it today. They support Project Bodybuilding. They make podcasts available to all of you and make the site tick. It's IamMutant.com. Support them. You're supporting us. IamMutant.com.
Blackstone Labs is bodybuilding's leading source for hardcore legal supplements and the makers of Angel Dust, Ostapure, Cobra 6 Extreme, Apex Male, and over a dozen other products with cutting-edge ingredients that outlast and outshine the competition every time. Formerly the maker of the industry standard in pro hormones, Blackstone Labs has not fallen. In fact, after the dust has settled on gray area supplementation, Blackstone shines brighter and stronger than ever before.
Visit blackstonelabs.com or click on the banners throughout Project Bodybuilding and experience bodybuilding science at its finest. That's blackstonelabs.com, the hardcore holy grail of bodybuilding supplements. Which one of these are you? The gullible, uninformed gym goer who gets hypnotized by $12,000 supplement ads with flashy made-up scientific terms created by a sales and marketing team? Or are you a knowledgeable, advanced athlete, bodybuilder, powerlifter, or fitness woman who knows the real deal? Well, let me tell you about fitness and bodybuilding's dirty little secret, TrueNutrition.com. The people who know what's really going on skip the retail sales team and go right to the manufacturer at TrueNutrition.com. TrueNutrition.com cuts out the middleman and is not only a source, but is also the manufacturer of raw ingredients for bodybuilding and fitness. At TrueNutrition.com, you can customize your own proteins, carbs, and fats. Put what you want in the supplements and make sure the other guys aren't putting bunk ingredients and fillers in your products just to make a fast. You can even customize your own oatmeals. You can use the do-it-yourself customizer to design your own supplements the way you want them designed. Stop being a newbie and start making your own supplements. You can at TrueNutrition.com. For an extra 5 to 10% off your orders, use the code PROJECTBB in the discount code box at checkout. That's PROJECTBB and get 5 to 10% off at TrueNutrition.com. Evolution Peptides is Project Bodybuilding's first and most loyal peptide and research source. Use their new discount code PRO40 to save 40% off every order you make at checkout. Viagra, Cialis, anti-estrogens, CJC 1295 with DAC, melanotan 2, GHRP6, IGF-1, and several more for all of your researching needs. Visit evolutionpeptides.com and use the code PRO40 to redeem your 40% discount. One more time, that's evolutionpeptides.com.
Hey, if you guys are in the market for some new weightlifting straps, belts, knee sleeves, chalk, anything you can throw in your gym bag, basically, I want you guys to check out www.prowriststraps.com. ProWristStraps.com, or better known as APT Pro Lifting Gear, is your one-stop shop for everything lifting gear and accessories. I mean, they literally have it all. They even sell trophies. So if you ever entered a bodybuilding or a powerlifting or a strongman competition and you placed sixth, well, they sell first place trophies. That's how comprehensive this site is. You too can be a winner. Go to www.prowriststraps.com, use code PBB at checkout, get 10% off your order, and I recommend it fully. It's www.prowriststraps.com. Great website, easy to navigate. They have everything you can throw in your gym bag. Project Bodybuilding fans, please welcome latest sponsor to this site, Rise From The Fall. Visit them at risefromthefall.com. Who are they? Well, they sell the hottest fitness apparel out today. We're talking about tanks, t-shirts, hats, hoodies, pants, you name it. Sizes are in men's and women's, large and small. You won't find lame slogans on their clothes. We're not talking about killing or murdering or being hardcore. I just can't stand that stuff, and I don't want to see anybody wearing it, so we're not going to have that on the site. We don't put up with that at Projectbodybuilding.com, and neither should you. But what I do like about their clothes, they're all hand-pressed, they're all made locally in the USA, and the best of all, wait for it, their owners, Jillian and Brandon, are from the state of Delaware, just like Deli Meat Dave. More reason to buy from risefromthefall.com. Use discount code RISEFROM15 at checkout for an extra 15% off. It's RISEFROM15. Once again, it's www.risefromthefall.com. It's not just an apparel company. It's one that we love. It's a Project Bodybuilding chance for you guys to look good in the gym and do it in style. Don't be douchey. RiseFromTheFall.com.
Seth, I have a question for you. Since it seems you have your own brand, with the All American Ruffneck and the video production, are we going to see, is Prime going to be involved in almost every video, or is it more like you're going to become the All American Ruffneck guy and then you use Prime products and kind of advertise that separately? Are we going to see sort of a marriage of the two?
They're going to see a marriage of the two, because this whole thing that I have going would not be possible without everybody. You know what I mean? There's really no way I can say that this whole self-made bullshit that I see fucking people say, like these fucking stupid hats that say self-made and how I'm self-made this and self-made that. I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are? like stop me for a second, but are you fucking alone in the world? Like, is your wife, your significant other, your fucking parents, you didn't pop out your mom's vagina, or they didn't influence you in a negative or a positive way? Like, you just all of a sudden decide that you're going to be self-made and do everything yourself? Like, for me to say self-made, you know how many fucking people I would be insulting to say that I could do these things on my own? Because there's no way. This is a collaborative effort amongst so many people. And I think that the whole self-made thing just goes to show you how egotistical people are. And it just it's one of those things that sends a very negative, wrong message in my general opinion. I'm sure I'm pissing some people off about it right now, but it to so many young people. Because if an 18-year-old wears a fucking hat that says self-made and then has some sense of pride for wearing that and then gets a fucking tattoo that says it too, like, Jesus. Who the fuck are you? You're 18 years old. You still live in your fucking home with your mom that you took the $25 for her fucking purse or account to buy the goddamn shirt. You know? So this is something that, from my perspective with all of this, is that none of these things I could be doing without a collaborative effort amongst everyone, because we all have our own creative spin. But at the same time, you're like, man, let's do something good. Let's do something great. And that's really what this is, and that's, the ideas I have for all the YouTube videos I'm going to be doing, sending a good message. It's going to be vulgar. It'll be obscene. Probably, like I said, pissing some people off. But at the end of the day, man, it is what it is. The truth fucking hurts. The truth fucking hurts. And I've had to admit the truth because it keeps me up at night. Still fucks with me.
Well, that's our audience, are people who like the vulgar and obscene. So I'm sure it'll be popular on our site.
You didn't tell me to stop swearing, so I just kept going.
Oh no, we encourage it. Sorry.
Hey, let's do some fan listener questions. I posted on Facebook and on the forum that we were going to have Seth on the show, and usually on the interviews we don't get the fans involved, but we're going to for this episode. All right, here we go.
We might regret this, by the way.
We may. And by the way, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was asking what you said.
I was just saying that we might regret allowing the fan questions, so this will be a true test. We'll see what they say.
Sounds good.
So answer these. We have about 12 of them, so just you can rip them off fast for the easy ones. All right. The first one is from IFBB Pro Kevin Jordan.
Oh.
He wants to know. He's got several, so humor him. He says he wants to know, when are you competing in your first show? When is your comeback?
Oh, I don't know. It's not even on my radar. I'm going to be competing whenever I feel like it. Let's put it this way. Like, I don't like the pressure, like I was mentioning earlier. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to lie, that fucking fire's under my ass. And the second that it turns into something even more, because I want to help Prime grow, and I want to help grow my own brand. And whenever I do decide to pull the trigger, it's going to be because I want to. And if I want to and feel ready, it'll be a spectacle. Let's put it that way. But nothing on the radar yet.
He also wants to know, when that day comes, do you have the color of your posing trunks picked out?
I like pink. Pink is everywhere in my house. Fuck no, I'm pink. How come I wear an American flag trunks? With a big star over my dick.
You're like Hacksaw Jim Duggan. That's what you are. He wants to know, will you only use Prime supplements, or will you also use Blackstone? Will you cheat on Prime?
I'll probably cheat on Prime. I probably will have the love affair with the other products. They both make really good products. The Formula 19 by Blackstone is something that I really enjoyed. No one really talks about it. It's a carbohydrate-based supplement. It's something that, that's part of the whole spin on the nutrition. Like, for people, get people interested right now, I'll be doing a lot of supplement reviews and nutrition reviews about how I got my waist and how I'm able to do a fucking vacuum now compared to whenever I had a 34-inch waist at 5'6". That's not a good ratio, by the way. No. So that's one of the things that I did, was change how much protein I ate, how much fat compared to carbohydrates, that whole, the macros that I do. And that product really was something that helped keep me full and really changed how I use my supplementation. So, and Hype and V2 and Dust are just off the wall. But with Prime, the Intra MD that John Meadows came up with, I mean, anybody getting ready for a show, if that's not on your list, you really need to get your shit together and realize you need to use that. So I mean, I'm not a big guy on a ton of caffeine. I think it serves a great purpose for whenever you need it, but that was one thing that I hated, the stimmed out feeling all the time. But whenever it comes to training, it's something that, if you use it correctly, you will have you'll be ready for a killer workout. So I'll probably use both, but they gave me some ideas that we could come up with 4 new products for Prime, and I'm really excited about that. That's something that's in the works. Not in the works now, but will be in the future, I think. So again, this is some of those things that everybody is going to see us unfold as we unfold it. So I think it's going to be pretty good.
All right, next question from the most interesting man on Project Bodybuilding, Lee Tokyo. He wants to know, Lee Tokyo asks, will you keep the beard?
Oh, fuck yeah. This beard ain't leaving my face. This is, let's face it, this is my wife's leg warmer, and she likes it. It's not going nowhere, bro.
It's cold where you're at. You need it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we got Lorenzo from Croatia. I think he's from Serbia, but it doesn't matter. He says, do you think that Kevin Jordan trains his legs and back hard enough?
His legs and back are bigger than mine, so yeah.
He's bigger than yours. Okay. Okay. Are you familiar with the game Fuck, Marry, Kill?
With what?
Are you familiar with the game Fuck, Marry, Kill? So I'm going to read you 3 names, and you have to either fuck one of them, marry one of them, or kill one of them.
Yeah.
There's no or. You have to pick one for each. You got to siphon them.
Fuck, marry, and kill.
This is from Scott K. From the board. He says, okay, the first one is Hany Rambod, Charles Glass, or George Farah. So you have to fuck Hany, or kill him, or marry him.
Fuck Charles Glass, marry Hany, and kill George.
Solid choice.
Yeah, I think I would have done the same. Okay. This one is from Derek Cervantes from Southern California. He says, this is a business question. He wants to know, is Prime and Blackstone moving away from the multi-brand sponsorship? Or this is a multi-part question, but you can answer at the end. Or are you sponsored by all of the companies? In which case, when can we expect to see you in a Celestial Bodies full body suit?
Okay, loaded question. We'll go first. I don't run the company, so I don't know exactly how they pay me. They just send me a check, mailbox money, baby. But no, with Prime Nutrition, Prime is the company that I'm supporting, because I think that, again, I don't know what they're doing, from a business standpoint, but I do believe that they will be, going more individualized, because that's the direction they want to go, because they really are two separate companies, and I don't think they ever want to merge them. If they did want to merge them, they would have already done that. And like they said, we want to create something special, and we're going to have some new shit coming out, which, it might not be for months or a year or so, but it's something that is definitely, it's on my radar to be able to go do. And as for the Celestial Body Suit, I will be taking a trip to Florida. Check out their place. So you just stay tuned. You might see something special.
Question from Banji to Meiji. Banji from England wants to know, what is it like being a stay-at-home dad? But you're not anymore, so he got that one wrong.
Yeah, no, whenever, so that's something I was on the forums and somebody was like, what's all this fucking roughneck business? I thought you were a stay-at-home dad that lived in an apartment before. Well, whenever you're trying to make fucking ends meet, bro, you got to do what you can, and I always did I wanted to, at the time, I was doing pretty good with all my sponsorships, and my wife and I were, whenever we moved back, when we moved back to Pittsburgh, we bought our house. And I was able to say, I'm going to focus on bodybuilding, and my wife was going to work, and I was going to take care of the kids, because fucking daycare is expensive.
Sure
Just goes to show you that some fucking people that don't have kids don't understand how fucking expensive kids are. But at the same time, you don't think I ever worked around my house. I don't think I, build anything around the house or go split wood or anything like that for fires. So, being a stay-at-home dad was great. It was a really cool thing that I got to do to kind of influence your kid. Anybody that is a stay-at-home parent knows it's a really difficult job, but at the same time, it's a loaded job because you got to be dedicated to the child, not just yourself. But I loved it. It was good. But now my wife and I, we both work, and we have a great in-home daycare lady. She takes care of our kids, and we got really good things in our life. Like really,
you said your oldest daughter's 8. How old's your youngest?
2. She'll be 2 here in about 3 weeks.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
still a little one.
Yeah, still a little one.
Very cool. We got another question from Owen Vahay. Owen wants to know, where does that famous squat workout that you did with Kevin Levrone stand in your toughest leg workouts of all time? Is it up there?
So the great thing about that fucking thing, I look back at it, I'm like, there's so many things I was disappointed about because I could have went harder. Literally, 40 minutes before we did that leg workout, I trained back with Hany, Jay Cutler, and Phil Heath. We trained because everybody came into the Mr. Pittsburgh show, and I trained back with Phil, Jay, and Hany, and then Kevin showed up, and they were like, we wanted to get some footage with Kevin. And we're like, well, what are we going to fucking do? And then Robbie was like, would you train with Kevin right now? And I'm like, we just got done doing fucking deadlifts and killing back for an hour and a half. And I'm like, well, would you train legs? Well, we'll just do squats. We'll just squat until you can't squat anymore. And I'm like, I look at Phil and Jay, and Phil goes, bro, don't you fucking dare do it. And I was like, I'll do it. So it ranked up there pretty high. It's something that, I trained with fucking Kevin Levrone, and I puked afterwards, and he helped clean up my puke. So it's ranked pretty high in my book of things that happened in bodybuilding. Pretty awesome.
Okay, we got one from Tweed. Tweed wants to know, what sex position did you use to get your wife pregnant?
I left it in this time, so I believe I was on top because we were trying really hard. So we didn't want gravity to take over. So I believe I let it rip when I was on top.
Attaboy.
Mm-hmm. That's romantic, but still intense.
That's all American for you.
That's very all American. Missionary like a great American boy. This guy wants to know, this is Matthew McVeigh-Rod. He's funny. He's got a little play on my name. Did Aaron and PJ require you to start an Instagram page as part of your contract?
Oh, no. So, anything that you do in the industry now is all geared around social media. Everything is geared around social media. People that have never stepped on stage are social media fucking icons. If I would have known how famous Kim Kardashian is from taking a fucking 10-inch black cock, I'd have been doing the same shit.
You were friends with Cedric, you said.
Ooh.
Yeah, yes, I was.
Alabama Black Snake right there.
Yeah, I would have been in trouble. But if anything you do, if you come back thinking that you're not going to do any type of social media, you will not get a contract. It was pretty much, this is my concept, these are my ideas. I want to be on social media. I'm really excited because I think I got a message to let people in on, because I don't see too much of the same message that I'm going to be relaying to people out there. So it was part of the gig. If you don't do social media, you're not going to get it. But at the same time, I want to. You have to.
Right.
They'll get around it.
I need to paraphrase this one because it's from Guru Hansa from the forums and on Facebook and Instagram. Guru, he's another one of these guys from a third world country, so he doesn't write very well. He says, if a coach really fucks up an athlete really bad, as far as like advising him to do too many drugs or to poorly dehydrate, what have you, what should the athlete do? Like, should the athlete's family do? Should they go on a public forum and call the person out? Should they, what are your thoughts?
You broke up for a couple times. Say that again.
Yeah, basically, so did he in his poor language. But he wants to know, if an athlete is really messed up by his coach, like say it was Hany's fault, not your fault, for your body shutting down, do you think it's up to the athlete to publicly out that coach for him screwing you up?
No, it's personal preference thing, but I believe that the first step you should always make is to confront the person face to face. I would rather do everything face to face. I know everybody's different. They like text messages or emails or anything or a phone call. I would prefer face to face before a phone call before a text message or an email. And I think that if you work with somebody or you paid them money or you build a relationship with it, you owe them that much to confront them face to face or telephone calls saying, what the fuck is going on, or what the fuck happened, or how the fuck can we get over this, before you go and out things and start stirring shit up that doesn't need to be stirred up.
Right.
So, I think that's probably the one thing that I regret the most is not setting the record straight back in 13 or 14. But it happens. All you can do is move on, is accept things for what they are, and move on and do right by that person.
Taylor, should we hit him with 10 questions?
Yeah, let me cue the music there.
Cue the music for me, please.
There it is.
All right, these are your 10 questions, Seth, for me that are random and off the wall. One word answer them, or you can go into as long as you want. Just a warning, these are awesome. So, all right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, question number 1. What happened to Trey Brewer?
I don't know. I think that's a bigger question mark than me. Fuck.
I put you and him like as both abducted by aliens, and everybody wants the scoop. So,
all right. Man.
Question number 2: is Michael Lockett natural?
Oh, absolutely. You say you're natural on the internet. You're natural. I believe everybody.
Question number 3.
My cock is also 10 inches long. I don't know if you throw that in there. Just so
is it black,
we can put that out on the forum. Yeah, it is. It is.
We can make a graphic. I think we can actually put that as the slider for the homepage when we do this interview. Question number 3. What works better? FST7 for fascia stretching or copious amounts of fish for its skin thinning capabilities?
Oh, man. I'd probably take the food over this one because, training, you can always do things, but whenever you're eating a fish, if you're not mature, if you don't have mature enough muscle, you won't get the thin skin by just training. Whenever you're getting ready for the show, got to have the fish. But the FST7, I can't knock that training because that training really rounded me out, rounded my shoulders and my arms out of fun.
Very good. All right, question number 4. Would you rather drink raw sewage from a porta potty or have sex with Iris Kyle for $1 million?
I'm going to check with the wife on this one.
Yeah.
But that $1 million would really help us with what we want to do.
You build that farmhouse. Not really. I don't know how to put it. It wouldn't be too bad because the $1 million would make up for a lot. Because I work at a shit plant here as one of my clients, and I don't like that shit plant. It's pretty bad. So you're boning Iris. Is that what we're hearing?
You did
That's
mention
a loaded fucking question, bro. I gotta get back to you on that one. I gotta ask the wife.
You did mention 10-inch black cock, so
yeah. See, it's all coming full circle.
Clit, cock, whatever. It's all the same.
All right. Question number 5 for Seth. What actor would play you in the movie of your life?
Oh man, I'd hope Bradley Cooper would be great. I'm huge. My wife wouldn't know the difference.
Wow.
Mr. American Sniper right here, this guy.
That's what throws it in there, man. I think he's a badass.
Question number 6. Is there such thing as too much growth hormone?
I don't know because I never really took that to an extreme. I bet you there is. There's always too much of something. Too much of something, but yeah, you could take too much growth hormone. Mm-hmm.
Question number 7. This is a science question. It's I don't know if you're familiar with the podcast PED Radio. It's pretty popular.
Okay.
But anyways, they had a question on the show the other day, and it stumped them for about 30 minutes. A guy named Skip, he's interesting. He didn't get it. Another guy named Scott, he didn't get it. And another guy named Taylor, he didn't get it.
Hey, I got it. I just let them bicker for a while because it's funny as fuck.
Do you know the difference between methylated and alpha alkylated?
Nope.
And that's okay. That's okay. Neither did they.
No.
Neither did they.
No.
Everybody,
I know the difference between an IPA and a stout. That's about it. Or a rye whiskey and wheat.
I'm lost.
Question number 8. Who's going to win the Super Bowl this year?
I'm taking the Cardinals. I want to see the Cardinals do it.
Not for Tom Brady.
Yeah, no Tom Brady for this guy. Fuck him.
Question number 9. Would you adopt a young Syrian refugee boy?
I should have read these first.
No.
That prime money's not good enough.
How young are we talking?
2.
Yeah, I would. I could.
It's the first 18 months that really suck, right, Seth?
Yeah, we could mold him into something, but if he was 8, nope. My daughter, with the way she thinks, she's already got her mind made up about a few things. Little baby, yeah, I'll take a baby. Well, we could mold him. We could teach him how to be an American, like fake boobs and whiskey and beer. It's good. Shoot guns, ride dirt bikes. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we need them shooting guns.
Yeah,
though.
they already shoot enough guns, I think.
Yeah, they shoot enough guns, but at least pointed at them, not at us.
Yeah, keep them away from explosive devices, please. And the final question, and it probably is the most important question of the entire show. Number 10, and we'll get you out of here. Do you ever sit down to pee?
Oh, hold on. You there?
Yeah,
we're here.
Sorry about that. Go over again. I missed it. I missed the most important
It was the most important question, damn it. Okay. Final question. Do you ever sit down to pee?
No. You can break both my fucking legs and I'm still standing up.
Goddamn American Roughneck.
That's it.
Hey, man, we want to thank you for coming on. How can everybody reach you? What's your Instagram? What's your Facebook if you do that? Just everything. Just go promote yourself a little bit.
Absolutely. On Instagram, it's at Seth Feroce. Facebook, it's Seth Feroce fan page. And on YouTube, it's official Seth Feroce. All 3 of those social media outlets, you'll probably see weekly videos on YouTube, whether it be an educational video, a nutritional video, a training video, a how-to video with training, a day in the life of what I do and how we prep and what my home life's like, how I get ready, how we have 2 kids, all that happy horse shit that everybody else deals with in their life. On Instagram, you're just going to see a whole lot of everything I do in my life, just like everybody else. Probably some edgy shit. I might make a few people mad, but same time it'll be good. www.allamericanruffneck.com. We'll embed all the videos that I post up on there. Right now is the All American Ruffneck video, which if you haven't seen it yet, go see it, and that's where you can get all the apparel, hats, shirts, and got a button down coming out that I really like. It's a button-down work shirt. It's pretty much what I always wear here at work. So, yeah, check it all out. Stay tuned. There's going to be a lot of shit. If anybody has, anything that they want to see on a video, then feel free to reach out to me and tell me what you want to see, because that's what this is all about. This is all about, this being a collaborative effort amongst everybody. If you want to know something, ask me. I'm an open fucking book this time around. I have no restrictions with anything. PJ and Aaron were like, Seth, just go be yourself, man. Fuck it. Let it all out. And that's really something that I feel really great about. I mean, have no restrictions. It's going to be a great ride. So, yeah.
You're an awesome guest, man. We really appreciate you having on, and you have an open invitation on any of the shows. Anytime you want to come back on, shoot the shit, come on the forum and talk to the guys. So, open invitation. We'd love to have you back.
Awesome, man. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
All right, Taylor, that was Seth Feroce's interview. He is definitely got a new brand himself, even though he's always been very likable and whatnot. I think he's bringing a new message, and it was a cool interview. Did you like it?
Yeah, that was awesome. I think one thing people either, I don't know if they forgot or what, but Seth is legitimately one of the only genuinely entertaining and funny bodybuilders in the sport. There's guys like Kevin Jordan who are hilarious. There's a lot of guys who people say are hilarious, but they aren't really. Seth is one guy that back when he used to do those cooking videos where he had the apron and shit, and he was just...
Yes, he had the Chef Boyardee hat on and everything.
yeah.
And his nipples hanging out.
So if you're not ultra familiar with Seth, he is one of the only true personalities in the sport, and he was cracking people up back in the day, so...
I said to Jeremy on the forum before we did the interview, because he didn't really know, he wasn't super familiar with Seth, and it's hard for me to remember that because it's been like a couple of years since he's been around. So if you're new to the industry or following the sport, you don't really know Seth. But I was like, yeah, when I started Project Bodybuilding, I wanted to get a hold of Seth.
Yeah,
I was like, Partlow would be awesome, Pulcinella would be awesome, and I knew there was somebody else. I was like, and it was Seth, but he was MIA and.
Well, clearly, he wasn't even lifting weights at that time, so
it wasn't even on the table. I mean, even this show, Inside Bodybuilding, you and I, we're brainstorming. Okay, who's hot? Who should we get to? Who's personable? Who's charismatic? Who'd be a good interview? We always think of Seth, but nobody knows how to get a hold of him.
No, I've asked friends that sort of know. They said, "Yeah, no, don't even bother. He wants nothing. He's out of it."
Yeah.
So. Cool.
All right, man. Let's do a contest for this show. Everybody knows we finally have apparel on Project Bodybuilding. It's risefromthefall.com. They are co-branding Project Bodybuilding and their logo, basically to take a lot of the stress off of me to do t-shirts and sweatshirts and tanks, because I've tried it before and I'm not a t-shirt guy.
People are interested. Yeah, names I don't even recognize from this board or anything. I see them asking questions about where can they order it, or they come in this color. So I'm excited.
I think we're all the shows and obviously the site are making its reach. It takes a little bit, but I think we're there. So here's what I want to do. We want to do some giveaways. I'm going to go ahead and say one tank, one hoodie, and one t-shirt, or any combination. And what you need to do is going to be a winner take all. No, let's not make it a winner take all. Let's make there be 3 winners. Let's make Brandon pay for some shipping. This show is going to come out on Friday, the 22nd. So everybody listen to the show. And
if you already hit stop, you're fucked. So you should still be listening.
That's right. Good point. So we're going to make it let's make it a week. So the 28th would be next Friday. That'd be the 29th, next Friday. I'll stop the game. And the game is, if you share the link on of this show on Inside Bodybuilding with Seth Feroce, if you share it on your Facebook or Instagram and tag Brandon Caldwell, Rise from the Fall, or myself, Matt Meinrod, any one of those 3 companies or people, that'll put you in the raffle. We'll announce it on Project Bodybuilding. If you're getting free t-shirts, who knows? I'm going to talk to Brandon after this, and maybe he'll even throw in some official Rise from the Fall stuff too. But I know he wants to do a game. He wants to get everybody involved. He wants t-shirts posted online. So it worked out really well last time we did a share. We did shares for the first call out, shout outs, and I had about 50 people want to get their name said on the first call out. So I think this will go even better because we're giving something away this time. So share this post when it comes out on Facebook. It'll be the Inside Bodybuilding with Seth Feroce. And you have to tag Brandon Caldwell, myself, or Rise from the Fall on it. And that'll get you in the game and a chance to win free Project Bodybuilding apparel. Do that. All right, Taylor. That's it for January's Inside Bodybuilding. It's the end of the month, so we'll be back next month. For Matt Meinrod, Taylor Normando, we're out.
Bon voyage.